welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk? I am your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 119. I know it might look a little different here. I'm in a much different setting than I'm usually in, even for a Zoom call. So, yeah, man, but I had to get this one in. And this is the last episode of the year of 2023. So, after this episode, there won't be any more for the rest of this year. I'll take a little minute off, even though I don't need one off. With all the computer issues I've had, man, I don't need any time off. But it won't be too much of a layoff. But getting geared for a few things. Got some other stuff going on with my Men Can We Talk podcast. So we're trying to gear up for some pretty cool interviews. Hopefully I hear back from some of these guests that I've been trying to get on. And y'all know how we do it over there on Men Can We Talk. It gets a little spicy. But
Yo, man, can we talk? That's some good stuff you got over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, y'all be looking forward to next year. It's gonna be we're gonna put some things out there. Got some. If I can get the guests that I want to get, most of it is local stuff, man. You know, I'm big on sports, and so I'm trying to get all the sports teams, all the high schools, the coaching staff. So, y'all, if y'all can, man, go and subscribe to Men Can We Talk podcast on YouTube. Also, go to YouTube and subscribe to Dad Can We Talk. Also, follow us on Facebook at Dad Can We Talk. Follow us on Instagram at Dad Can We Talk. Go to dadcanwetalk.com and you'll find all the episodes there. Everything that you're looking for that's related to Dad Can We Talk will be on the website. So, now I've been under the weather bad this week. So today has been my first bounce back week. So if I don't really sound myself, even look myself, I know I've been down pretty bad. So it was good to feel like myself again today. Get out the house and get some sun. It just felt good, man. So like I always say, y'all, please pray for your boy. You know, it's a lot of stuff that's always going around. People dropping left or right. Just got some bad news about a family member yesterday. And, man, you know, just keep on praying, not just for me, but for all of your loved ones, people that you care about, all the other dads out here, man. You know, just keep us lifted up in prayer as we keep ourselves lifted up, please. But without further ado, man, you know, I'm here with my mans, you know, and I only make this special type of episode for my mans right here, man, you know, because, you know, when it comes to this basketball stuff, man, if y'all hear our basketball conversations, you know, we could do I think we could do a really good basketball podcast.
We could. I'll have to get you over on Ball Boy Talk, my unhinged sports podcast. I've been doing some so I'm in this dads group on Facebook. It's like the Bluey Dads group. It's actually one of the healthier dad groups out there. And I grabbed a bunch of guys from that group and started a fantasy basketball league, and just turned that into a podcast actually on my sports channel. So that's been a lot of fun covering that. So it's been a lot of fun getting back into the NBA after a while, because I haven't been into it for a long time. So
yes, sir. Yeah, I look forward to that, man. But we're gonna get into some family and fatherhood today, man. So y'all, welcome to the show, my man, Jewell Young. What's going on, bro?
Oh, you know, just another beautiful day toward the end of the year, that season. So the stressful time's done, all the shopping's done, all the gifts are wrapped. By the time this comes out, they'll all be opened and pretty much done and played with too, probably. So
believe
it. And we'll be gearing up for the New Year's. I think since the last time we talked, I was only dating my now fiance.
Okay.
and we're actually planning our wedding for January.
My dog.
So
Yes, sir. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
take two should be for sure. So
Yes, sir. Hey, man, congratulations on that.
thank you.
I can, if I can give you any advice, man, learn patience, 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 patience. That is
Yes,
the key.
sir.
So, yeah, next year, I turn 35 next month, bro. It's crazy.
Ooh,
Crazy.
you're halfway between 30 and 40. You know, the day after your 35th birthday, you're closer to 40 than you are 30.
Oh my gosh, man. It's so crazy. But
That's nuts.
I've been with my wife since I was 20 years old, man. So yeah. We've grown a lot together, learned a lot together, and continuing to learn how to love, man. You know, it's a challenge at times, but it's a blessing also, a real character builder when you go when you
100%.
when you go into marriage and you're really consistent and when you really want to do it, you know, and allow it to build your character and build who you are, man. It can be a true blessing to you. So congratulations, bro.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah,
So let's well, what you got to
I'm
say?
really excited for that.
Oh
Oh no,
yeah.
I'm really excited for it. You know, going into it again, just feeling a lot better about it. It's been a really long time, and you know, ready up and ready for the challenge. It's going to be a lot better this time around, and um, yeah. So overall, I'm just really excited for it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So we're gonna start it out how we always do, man. I ain't gonna keep you too long tonight. But we're gonna start it off how Dad Can We Talk starts it off. What was your relationship like with your dad?
So it actually was really interesting. So I wasn't raised by my dad. I was raised by my grandma and my step grandfather up until I was 8 years old when he passed away. I was in the hospital room when he passed away at 8 years old. So that really weighed on me for a really long time. And then I had a mix of like uncles who were like father figures to me, friends' dads who were father figures to me, but not like a dad kind of thing. Uh, I didn't really know my dad most of my life. I was told that he was kind of no good and didn't try. I remember seeing him a few times when I was like real little, but I didn't I didn't really know him too well. And then when I was 12-ish years old, I went and lived in Hawaii with my maternal grandfather and step grandma. Uh, so that was the most like concrete like father figure I had for an extended period of time. And then actually while I lived there, while I was about 13, 14 years old, my grandparents actually encouraged me to reach out and talk to my dad and get to know him. And at first, when that conversation started, it was like, what the heck? What's going on? Where have you been? Like, you're no good, blah, blah, blah. Just a lot of anger, like fueled with anger, fueled with just rage and upsetness. Yeah, upsetness is a word. Um, and it was just fueled by a lot of just like a place that I was taught. It was all taught things. It wasn't how I actually felt because I didn't really know them. It was just things I was told and everything like that from my grandma, which is okay. I mean, she took me when I was 2 weeks old at the time. My dad wasn't ready. My biological mother wasn't ready, so it was what it was. And then when I was 13, 14 years old, I went and visited. My dad came out to Hawaii to visit with my brothers and my stepmom. Um, so that was my first like extended interaction with them. I was in 8th grade, and it was during spring break. So that was a lot of fun. Later that summer, I went and visited him in California and Oakland, and I never went back to Hawaii. Ended up staying there in Oakland, East Bay, East Oakland, actually, Roberts Avenue, right around the corner from Laney College. Then ended up going through all of high school in Oakland after that with my dad. And now me and my dad are super close from that. You know, growing up, being the oldest boy in the house. I have one older sister, so I'm the oldest boy, but being with him, just through a lot of changes that happened over the course of those years into my early adulthood. was really good. My dad was super supportive of everything I did, and he didn't keep too high of expectations. His main rules were do good in school. If you're doing extracurriculars, you're there day in, day out. I don't care what your excuse is, you're going. You do it well. And then he's like, if you're gonna be out anywhere, if you're gonna be out past when you're supposed to be home, if you're gonna spend the night somewhere or hang out with friends, like just let me know where you're at. Just let me know when you're gonna be home, kind of thing. As long as you're keeping all your stuff 100, then we're good. So that pushed me to become like just a healthier person. Straight A's, attending all my extracurriculars, not making excuses, staying up, working hard, so then I could have all the fun and take advantage of the autonomy that I was given. So now me and my dad, we talk on every day, text, send each other TikToks. When's the last time I seen him? He came out earlier this year, and we actually went to a Nate Jackson comedy show. I don't know if you've seen him on TikTok. He's the dude that roasts people in the audience.
I think I ran across
the big African American dude. He's always wearing a baseball jersey, baseball hat, jeans, sitting on a little bar stool. It was funny. It was funny. It was super good. He was playing at a local comedy club here, where I'm at. So my dad came up. We went to that. It was super fun. So yeah, we talk on a regular basis, and we're close. And we talk about all things: life, relationships, his business, all the things up and down. So
yes, sir. I love it, bro. I love it. And I always love to hear stories like that because, regardless of how it starts out, it can always be repaired. I'm just a big believer in that. I know some people just feel like, I'll never give them another chance, or, and I feel like our dads have their own things that they go through. And so it's like, yeah, they might mess up. Unfortunately, they do that sometimes. But it's like, man, we're never too old to need a dad, man. Never too old. So
and the thing is, it wasn't. Oh, go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, I just think that's always something that's good to repair, if you can.
True, and the thing is with him, it wasn't really his fault. Once I learned and I saw all the facts and I got all the story, not just one side of it, got his side and all the sides, it was like, oh, it wasn't like because he didn't want to, it's because he wasn't allowed to. He didn't get the chance to follow through. He said, I remember calling your grandma to see if you wanted to go to this place with us for around your birthday, because your birthday always fell on spring break. So I knew you had it off school. So I always tried to call a couple months ahead and plan those trips. And it was always a no. It was always met with resistance. It was always like all these things. And then I got to see the custody agreement that my dad had with my grandma. I was supposed to go there for summers. Never did. I was supposed to go to his place for like every other Christmas. Never did. I was supposed to go for like every other holidays and all this visitation. Like he was supposed to have it as long as he arranged the travel, paid for the travel, and he always did and was willing. Never had a problem there. It just wasn't allowed and wasn't met. So my grandma and I had a lot of conversations about that after. Obviously that came in as an adult, where we talked about it and stuff, and I understood where she was coming from. I had a lot of empathy for her and whatnot with everything. So but now, like, ain't no one got problems with my dad. There was never really any problems to begin with. Like, if my dad will come and visit my grandma, my biological mom's mom who raised me, and they'll chat up, they'll hug, they'll talk. He'll come around my mom's side of the family all the time. My mother's nowhere to be seen. She never comes around out here, so that's never a worry. So it's like my dad's on good terms with everybody. And our family. My dad's one of those coolest guys. Like, you can't not like him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like me. That's where I get it from.
Yeah, man. Hey, and see, that's why I always say changing the narrative, man. Like, the narrative that so many dads live with, you never know a dad's story until they tell you themselves. All our lives, most of the time we hear the story. I mean, if we don't live with our dads, a lot of times we hear all the stories from every angle, sometimes except for his.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you hear the angle of a man's story, and that's why I love the fact that this platform, it's not the biggest platform in the world, but man, it reaches, and for the people that do listen or pay attention, it gives dads the opportunity to tell their story so that, when our kids, we have little kids, but I've interviewed some guys with with adult kids. Interviewed the last guy just interviewed, all of his kids are adults. I think his youngest was 20, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think it was like in the teens. But he has like older kids, and for them, for those kids to hear their dad's story and to hear the sacrifices he made, to hear all of the things that he did to make sure that they were taken care of. It's like, I can only imagine being a child or shoot, even right now, even though I know most of this stuff now because I've sat and I've talked with my dad. Shoot, I wish I would have, man, I want to get my dad on so bad.
I know, that's where I'm at. I need to get my dad on. He
But
literally asks me all the time. He's like, you do this fatherhood podcast, but one person you never talk to is your dad. I'm like, I'll get to you. I'll get around to you. Don't worry. Maybe I'm saving you for a special like milestone episode. Like, chill.
yeah.
But no,
Yeah, I think
I
that'll be
agree with
super
you.
cool, man.
I know I really want to get my dad on. I think it'd be super fun, but I agree with you. Like our platforms, like they're not super big. Like you look at my Instagram, I have like 400 followers over there. YouTube, 100 something subscribers, and like those are my biggest like platforms between those two. But like, the show reaches who it's going to reach. It reaches who it's supposed to reach. I firmly believe that. That we do these shows for a reason. We're given these shows for a reason. Our platforms for a reason. Like my show reached a guy out in England a couple weeks ago that saved him from making some really big life choices that would have really impacted him in a not so good way. And so not that my show was like a saving show, but he said, he was honest with me. He's like, I didn't think it would be I stumbled upon it. He's like, I didn't think it would be any good. I just needed something to feel the background. But, after listening for a few hours, I'm like, a few hours? He's like, after a few hours listening and stuff, like, it just felt like you guys were just in the car with me talking. And, like, it just got me through what I needed to get through. And now he's on the other side of it. He's working. He's, making progress and getting out of that place. And I was able to connect him with people that I knew who had similar stories, experienced similar things as him, and make all these connections with the friends that I knew and people I have to make sure that he had some community and people to talk to and outlets and whatnot. So it reaches who it's supposed to reach when it's supposed to reach him. So
Definitely, man. Talk more about that. Talk more about what made you even want to start a podcast about fatherhood.
So I guess how it started is my brother and I. Okay, so going back even further, like I had originally had the blog, Ball Boy blog. I was writing about baseball, writing random stuff, and just had a blog, and that's what I was doing. And then my brother and I were just talking a little bit. I had started making like videos on like TikTok and Reels and YouTube as well. It was when YouTube Shorts first came out. That's when I was first making videos. And then my divorce happened, and I just stopped making kind of content altogether for over a year. And then my brother and I kept talking about it because we would always sit, and he lives in California, so we would play games together. We played Madden or 2K or the show or whatever together for just hours on end and just talk about all the different things, all the things. We're like, we should turn this into a podcast. I'm like, have you heard me talk? I have a speech impediment. And I stutter sometimes, and I have a little bit of lisp, and you don't want to see my mug behind the camera kind of thing. But the idea literally just came to me just one afternoon when I'm at work, sitting at my desk. I was working at a bank at the time in a back office position. And it just kind of came to me. It's like, this is the name, this is the idea, this is what we're doing. Like, it just hit out of nowhere. 20 plus ideas, how we were gonna do it and everything, and it just hit like randomly. I'd been thinking about it, but not to like that extent. And it all just kind of hit all at once. The idea for logos and everything, and before we knew it, in summer of 2022, we started recording like end of July, early August of summer 2022, and then from there, it all just kind of took off. After that, we were recording, then we started having guests and friends come on, and then it just kind of turned into where you have it now, to where it's just almost 90 episodes between bonuses and mainline episodes of the podcast. And yeah, so it just kind of happened. 30,000 downloads, 1,000 plus reviews between Apple and Spotify, all 5 stars. Luckily, knock on wood there. The Instagram engagement, the connections with you and Kelly, and there's all these people that I've just been able to connect with and get to know, and that are now friends and like part of my community, where I'm like, if I knew I was really going through it, I know shit, I can go talk to Anthony right now. He'll answer, he'll talk, or I can go talk to Kelly if I need to go talk to Kelly, or let me go over here and talk to this person about this thing kind of thing, or let me go pick their brain about this thing. And just building the community around people is kind of what it's turned into. It's just given me an outlet to share just my experience as a dad, going through like divorce and single parenting, and now going on the other side of it, and how I grew up in my story and everything like that. And yeah, so that's kind of where it all kind of spilled out from.
I love that, man. Love that. Now I just want to tell you, man, keep going, bro. Like, with everything that you guys are building right now, man, keep going. Like, that's all. Anyone I run into and I find out that they're doing a podcast, especially in the fatherhood thing, man, because what I see is, man, most people, as much as I feel like people should pay more attention to stuff, like, I don't think men honestly pay too much attention to like family podcasts or fatherhood podcasts. And I mean, I did that study when I was in school before I even started my podcast, so I kind of knew like, ooh, this is gonna be a uphill battle, but it was one I was willing to climb. But what I saw is that I think they said for men, our top listening to podcasts, I think, was comedy, sports. It was comedy, sports, and
probably comedy, sports, and Joe Rogan. I don't know.
It's probably something like that. Probably in that area. It was something with entertainment, I think.
It's probably, I would imagine it's probably sports, comedy, and politics.
Probably that. And I was like, ooh, fatherhood is just like, it wasn't close. But I'm like, cool. Like, let's do it. Let's see what happens out of it. And so when I got in, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And 3 years later, still going, still growing. And so, man, keep on pushing in this genre, man. Don't let the numbers discourage you, or how many followers you get
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
because
Yeah,
the numbers suck. The numbers are not great.
seriously, man.
I mean, I'll post a video and it'll be 0 for a week, and then the next one will be at 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden a short will pop off and it'll be um 2,500, 10,000 views out of nowhere, and it's like, this makes no sense. You know, it's just, I mean, it's just how it works, and then some will do really well, some will flop, and I'm like, oh, I'm not changing how I post it. I'm just posting how I like to post, and sometimes I like to run them at, and if they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. That's one of the good things about Meta Business Suite that you can use for Instagram and Facebook, is that you can see when your most active and popping times are, to help you gauge an idea of when your audience is there, where you can catch the most eyes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I like. But yeah, the numbers definitely aren't everything. The numbers shouldn't be anything for anyone, because that's how you fail. I mean, most podcasts don't make it past episode 5.
Exactly.
If they do, if a podcast makes it past episode 5 and into number 6, it's now in the top 50% of podcasts. If it makes it past 10, now you're in the top 25%. If you make it past 25, you're in the top like 15%. And if you make it past 50, you're in the top 10%. And then if you make it past 100, you're in the top like 5% or something. And then pretty much everything, every 25, 50 after that, you grow like a percent. Like once you get to 200 episodes, you're like in the top 2-3% of all podcasts with length and duration kind of thing, which is crazy, because that's like 200. Like you'll be at 200 by the end of 2024. Yeah, no.
I hope. So. As long as I don't have any more computer issues, man.
Right. True. Yeah, but it's like, man, I'm coming up on 90 total with everything, and it's like, that's crazy. Like it's only been a year and a few months, so but no, it's fun. It's all worth it, because again, you never know who you're going to reach, or when you're going to reach them, or why you're going to reach them, or how you're going to reach them, or what you say reaches a certain person. Like I just reposted the conversation Kelly and I had from a few months ago this week, because I took a pretty long time off for Christmas break. I took all of November and all of December off from my podcast. And I just had some pre-records that I posted, and then I posted my most popular episodes. And I reposted Kelly's, and now those shorts are getting comments saying, thanks for blazing this path of talking about, miscarriage for dads and how important that is. And like, it's definitely time for us to start looking at it and knowing that it's both people who are affected by it, not just the mom. So thanks for being brave to do it and stuff. And Kelly, he's a dog, man. He's him. He is him.
Really serious with it.
He's one of those guys, man. He's just one of those guys. So,
man, that episode I did with him could have easily went another hour, but I'm like, I think the one I did with him was a little late also. But I'm like, yeah, man, there's so much more we could talk about, but
with Kelly, I could go for hours with him. He's such a real dude, and everything that comes out of his mouth. And that's what I'm talking about. Like this space, like the dudes who are doing it, it's hard to be fake in this space.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to be fake in this space. And you know it right away when a dad's kind of talking the talk, but he's not walking the walk or living the life that he's trying to, preach about. It clicks real quick, and you see it. You can see it real fast. Like I see it out in public now. Like when I'm out in public, I'm like, okay, that's a real one right there. That's a dad doing the dad thing, or, that's a dad just going through the motions kind of thing. Like he's not really into it right now. He's just with the program because he has to be with the program. He's just here so he doesn't get yelled at kind of thing. He's not in it.
So he don't get fined, boss.
Exactly. I'm a Seahawks fan, so that landed. but
Yeah.
yeah, you can see it, and it just gives me a different perspective, just going out in like public and stuff, and going out with my kids and doing things with them after being in this space and just like learning so much from other people. Like I just gotta chill, take it easy. Like I was asked the other day, I was recording on As Dad as It Gets, and it was like, "What's your parenting style?" And I'm like, I just go with the flow. Like I just go with it. Whatever happens, happens. If they get hurt, then they get hurt, kind of thing. Oh well, it's
Yeah.
part of them being a kid. Like I'm not gonna stop them and hover, and I'm gonna go let them fall and play at the playground or get into it with another kid so they can learn that they need to communicate. Or I'm not gonna go up and ask that kid to for them to stop playing. Like that's on you to go and talk to that kid about getting a turn on that thing. Or um like today, for example, like my girls both had a ton of attitude yesterday. Uh, and luckily their elf on the shelves were home while they were having all this attitude. And the elves came last night and they brought some candy canes back, and they left a note saying, "You guys can each have one candy cane, but then you have to give out the rest while you run errands today." And sure
Mm.
enough, my daughters were giving out candy canes to cashiers and other kids and people. It was super cute, and I was just like, this makes me so happy because I'm not helping you pass. I told my daughter straight up, I'm not helping you guys. Like this is all you. Like you have to pass them out. Like you have to find people. You give them. You talk to them. You ask them if they want one and if it's okay. And sure enough, my older one did it. She passed out all of them between Target and Costco, and she was super happy. So.
Mm. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. What's been your favorite part about fatherhood so far?
Um, I think being able to give my daughters a lot of the childhood that I didn't have, kind of thing, to where they get to have a lot of fun, they get to play, they get to do things, even though the things we do aren't crazy. It's like just getting out and being active and having fun and experiencing life, and just teaching them, really getting to teach them and getting to help them learn new things and new skills and help them just have fun with life, not take it too serious, and model that it's just, it is what it is, kind of thing. Like if you fall, oh well, you fell. Like let's get up, and teaching them that resiliency and to be tough and to move on and to not, and it's not that deep, that we don't have to take it so serious. Like it's just let it go, move on, move past it. Like it's not that deep. My older daughter, she's a Cancer, and if you heard any Cancer stereotype, she's the waterworks are working most of the time and ready to work at any time for any reason. Very sensitive. So it's just also learning more about myself as well, to be, to adapt to different people, to adapt at certain times, but also just have fun, help them learn that it's not that deep, to just have fun, and just treating them really well is just a lot of fun as well. So I think those are all my favorite parts. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sounds like the good parts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Serious. But yeah, what would you like if you had to pick one part of your parenting? Yeah, let's just stick with one. You just had to just pick one part of your parenting that you could work on. What would you say that would be?
I could probably be a bit more sensitive. Um, Sometimes I'm a bit rough,
Yeah.
uh, when I need to be a little bit more gentle. I'm not as caring as I probably should be in different moments, um, where I might add more fuel to the fire than might make a joke that might not land well. Especially when they're already upset, and then trying to mess with them makes it a little bit worse. Um, so yeah, being a little bit more sensitive, being a little bit more mindful about their emotions, um, and just caring a little bit more. Not that I don't care, but just
Yeah.
a little bit better time and place. So.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Man, that's one right there. I'm sensitive to him, but Man, there are times I do want to make those jokes,
Hmm.
you know, especially after they've gotten on my nerves during the day.
Oh, yes.
And now it's my turn. Oh my God. Man,
Oh,
listen,
my.
I'm about to lay it on. So,
Yes. That happened yesterday when I was talking to my daughter and she was like throwing a fit and she was saying mean things, but oh no, it's coming back at you now, but oh no, we're not doing that, are we? No, sir.
yeah.
Can't make no jokes back to you. You can call me mean and rude, but as soon as I start, joking about you or calling you a name or two, oh, it's stop it.
uh, yeah, man. Kids are hilarious.
Yeah, two
They are
girls
hilarious.
is having two girls is no joke. Shout out to the
Oh,
girl dads out there with only girls.
see, I got two of them with the boy. So it balances all of them out, I think. But man, those two
Mm,
girls are something serious, man. Like
they
they
go
are
at
like,
it. My two
man.
girls, they will go after each other. Like they will, like my little one's 3, so she talks real good. And when the older one's upset, she'll just go, "It's not that deep, bro." And so she'll calm her down, or the older one will tell her to take deep breaths. And then when she does it to her, when the younger one does it to the older one, it's like, "Stop, go away." And then when they fight, they go after each other. And then 5 minutes later, they're over up there on the bed or on the couch and they're hugging and cuddling or playing together and talking and like nothing ever happened.
Crazy, man. And what's their age difference?
One's 6 and one's 3, so they're about
They're
3 years,
about
2-ish years apart technically. So,
cool. Yeah, that's like my thing. That's about the age difference between my first two. Yeah, see, they get along pretty well for the most part. All of them get into it at all. Just weird. They just all have so much of a problem with one another on some days, and then other days where everything is just so perfect and fine. But it's like you guys literally just hated each other yesterday and was saying all this mean stuff about one another, and now look at you. I thought you didn't like them.
right? I thought you guys were done. Like
Yeah,
she just
see.
made you cry. Y'all were just hitting each other. No,
Yeah,
but the
man.
way it works for me is like I make them go and do stuff together after. Because I'm like, I'm not doing that with you. Like if you want to play, go play with your sister.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play with her. She's mean or she doesn't do this. I'm like, oh well, it's either that or nothing.
Serious. Yeah, man. Before I left the house tonight, um, so they had been in their little moods today.
Mm-hmm.
The girls were playing good, and my son is just on the back burner. And
Mm-hmm.
so my daughter got this big set of my oldest one. She has a big set of markers and crayons, just all this stuff that you could color with. Big, huge set.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the room. The girls are in the room coloring pictures and all this stuff. So my son comes in the room, asks me to print him out a picture. So I print him out some cool football coloring pictures and stuff that he could work on. So he comes in my room and says, "Daddy, I don't have anything to color my pictures with." I'm like, "Bro, your sister has like 100 things in there to color with. What do you mean?" He's like, "She won't let me use it." I'm like, "This is ridiculous, man."
Is he
So
the youngest?
he's the middle.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah. So he and I always have a certain amount of um empathy for him because I know how that was growing up as a middle child. And you always feel like you're never loved.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, of course, with
Seriously.
his sister's like, oh, a baby sister.
Yeah.
And
Like
then it's
you
like, oh yeah,
just,
I have a brother.
yeah. Yeah, man.
But guess
So
but guess who she's gonna go crying to when they're in high school, middle school together. Like, this person's so mean.
believe it.
She's gonna go crying straight to
Believe it.
him. And then it's like he's gonna be like, oh, now you need me.
Hmm.
What about that? What about that crap back in like Christmas of 2023 when you wouldn't let me use your colors? He's gonna hold on to that. He's gonna hold on to those little grudges, and he's gonna, because boy, I will tell you, boys, like when they're all going through puberty and whatnot, and we're all at those ages, like boys are gonna be just as bad as girls. Like you're gonna think he's gonna be chill and he's gonna have an easy puberty because he's not gonna have all the stuff, but he he's gonna have the male version of that with all the emotions, all the hormones, and all the things. It's gonna be at that same level as the girls, and he's gonna be like, "What is going on? Like this time of the month is nuts." Because boys have it too when they're those ages, those same kind
Mm.
of cycles and whatnot. So,
Yeah, man, that's why I'm on his behind right now at all times. You know, they always say, Daddy, you're mean. I'm like, yep, I am. You got
yep,
that right. I'm gonna continue to be mean. I'm gonna always be mean. But one
yep,
thing you won't ever say is Daddy doesn't love you.
true.
And I said, well, one day y'all are gonna appreciate Daddy, and you're gonna get older and you're gonna say, you know what, man, Daddy, I appreciate everything that you did. You know, I make sure and I know I'm hard on him, super hard, maybe harder than I should be sometimes. Not really though. You know, sometimes I don't think I'm hard enough. You know, I let them get away with so many things,
Mm-hmm.
especially because they're good in school. You know, they never give me any type of trouble when they're outside of my sight, and that's one thing that kind of keeps me off of them sometimes because I'm like, they don't give me any trouble outside. I mean, they give me trouble at home. They don't give me trouble outside of the home. You know, so I can only imagine what my mom used to go through because I used to give her trouble at home and outside of the home. The school calling her
Mm-hmm.
about
But
getting
that's
referrals.
yeah, but I think that's a fine line to tread too, because you don't want to get so into defining yourself as a parent and what you do by the products that they produce. Because
Mm,
if you're holding all your value as a father, and this is for all the dads out there, if you're holding all your value as a father in what your kids produce on a field, on a court, on in a classroom, on a report card, if that's where your value lies as a father, you're going to fail. If
straight
that's
up.
100% where you're defining it, where you're missing is you're not defining yourself in their process. Their
Mm,
process is where you need to define yourself, because in their process, let's say your oldest girl has an F in science to for most of the quarter or most of the year, but by the very end of the year, she brought that grade up from an F to a C, but you're still disappointed because she only brought it up to a C. But
mm,
what did she do? She brought it from an F to a C, which is this much growth. You were expecting her to have this much growth, but she still made this much growth. Maybe it was really hard for her to understand the whatever it was, but she overcame the obstacles, the learning. She spent the extra time. She did all the things. She tried harder. She learned, and she grew, and she challenged her mind, and she did some extra credit to even get to that C. Um, and all those things, but yet you missed all those really awesome little things she did because all you were worried about was the final product instead of all the things here, which are more tangible, which are way more important. Because yes, grades are important, but there'll be options out there for, even if she's a straight B and C student, 2 years at a community college and go to a 4 year trade, military. There's plenty of options out there for her after the fact, but the
mm.
process is what's important now for our kids. Seeing how they learn and develop as they keep challenging themselves, pushing themselves, trying to learn new things and keep up and do all these things. And if they know that, oh, daddy only cares about my grades, so I'm going to let him down, so I'm a failure. then you're losing. But if they're like, okay, well, daddy cares about my grades, but he's also been keeping up to see my progress. And I know this C is really going to make him proud because he knew I was struggling. And I really pushed myself. So I know this grade is going to make him proud because he knows I did my absolute best kind of thing. And you recognize all those things along the way. So it's about the process, not the product. The product's great. Maybe on the court, they're super talented and it's a D1 scholarship offer. So daddy don't got to pay for college. And that's what you're riding on. And they're going to go to the league of some type and go be a pro athlete. Like, great. But they're only doing that because they defined your love on their success. They put in their mind that their connection is, if I'm successful, then daddy loves me the most. If I'm not, daddy don't love me. And I only get half of his love if I'm not the absolute best person out here. When I'm the hardest worker, I show up earlier, I stay later, I practice harder, I do all these things. I'm just not that naturally talented, but I'm still working really hard. I got a D2 offer. I got a full ride D2 offer. Maybe I got a full ride D3 offer. Maybe I got a full ride JUCO offer because I worked so hard. I'm trying so hard. I'm going to go take that offer. And then in 2 years, I'm going to transfer to D1 because I'm going to keep working my butt off. And your kid can then know, like, as long as I'm trying my hardest, I'm pushing, I'm grinding, I'm doing all the things, like, daddy's going to be proud. He's going to love me no matter what. And he's always going to support me and push me to get to that next level where I want to be, not where he wants me to be, because he's supporting my goal and at least getting to that next level and pushing myself as far as I can. So get lost in the process with them and don't get lost in defining yourself by the product.
Man, y'all listen, my boy just spit game.
Sometimes I do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's real. That's why I say I'm like really hard on them, man, because I gotta stay on top of them. I always try to make it my thing, be on your stuff. And the more and more, it's like, as they're getting older, I'm seeing, okay, you are towing the line. Like, you are really towing the line.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you're doing.
100%.
And they're like, well, why are you saying this? No, man, come on. I'm not stupid, man. Come on. I was a kid too. And, like my oldest daughter, like, she always thinks I'm just being so mean and just all this. And I'm just like, man, just be quiet, man. Like, what you're saying doesn't even make sense. Just be quiet and just do what I ask. That's it. And I'm getting more to the point now. I used to just let them just give them a little leeway. But even with my last episode, I was talking with the guy and my man William, and he was telling me that, sometimes it just has to be, this is this, and no, we're not going to think about anything else. That's it. I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right, man. Because sometimes I'll get to a point to where I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to understand them, which I don't think is a bad thing. But sometimes there's not going to be any understanding. Man, the understanding is going to come from you. Y'all going to understand what I'm saying, and that's it. So ever since I talked with him last Sunday all week, well, I've been sick most of the week, so they had an easy week this week because daddy couldn't do it. But they got it this morning. When I got up and I felt almost like myself, I'm like, oh yeah.
Daddy's back, baby. Let's get it. Let's go. Shut that Wi-Fi off. I'm pulling the damn plug.
Get this stuff up. Clean up this. I don't care. Y'all ain't heard from me all week. I've been down and out. I ain't even had the energy to say anything.
And so that's important too. That's so important to make sure we stay on top of our kids, to make sure that they're responsible, because we are, as fathers and parents in general, we are responsible for raising them to be responsible, productive members of society.
Straight
Even
up.
with my 3-year-old, I'm like, she went and sat in a chair tonight after finishing her dinner. And I'm like, I didn't hear nothing go in the sink. I told my little 3-year-old to take her butt back to the table, take her plate, and put it in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
For my 6-year-old, she knows every time she's done with the dish or anything, it goes in the sink, in the trash. We don't leave things out or around. Our shoes, when we get home, you don't just kick them off by the door. You take them, you go put them in your bedroom. Dirty clothes, they go in the basket to now wear with her clothes. I got her own little laundry basket, but with her clothes, I now want her to be turning them right side out into her basket. And then soon I'm going to teach her how to do her own load of laundry.
Mm-hmm.
So that she learns how to do that for herself. And so it's all about building on these different skills, but we have to make sure that we're raising responsible, productive members of society.
Real talk, man. Real talk. But I got a few more for you, man. If you had to pick any dad, let's say TV or movie dad, which one would you say that you're most like?
Man, if he was a dad, and I think he'd be a great dad, I think Michael Scott would be a great dad.
Michael Scott, what show is that from?
The Office.
Okay.
Okay, now hear me out. Hear me out. He doesn't have kids as far as we know. We don't know what happened in the Office universe after the show ended. He could have went on, had a happy-go-lucky life, and maybe he had kids, hopefully, like he always wanted to. But Michael Scott, in general, if he did have kids, he would be the most caring, fun, supportive, outgoing dad that there could be ever, because that's how he is at work with people in a professional setting. He's fun, he's outgoing, he doesn't take nothing too serious. He's always kind of pushing the agenda a little bit, which is good for kids to know kind of everything and like, okay, push a little bit, see where you can get. You're not going to get nowhere if you don't push a little bit. And I just think, he's so fun that he would have been a great dad. But actual TV dads, I don't know. See, that's hard because there's not enough.
Yeah.
Of course, growing up, it was Uncle Phil. Everyone loves them and Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil and Dr. Huxtable. Dr. Huxtable, the character, not the actor. Okay, we're gonna put that out there. I've talked about it on my podcast. It's the actor, or it's the character, not the actor. But Dr. Huxtable, and Uncle Phil are the 1A, 1B of the best kind of TV dads. Also, I would say Danny from Full House, Uncle Jesse, Uncle Joey are all kind of like TV dads that I really liked growing up, especially the Full House crew, because it was just, they all had their own dynamic, like Danny was always there. It showed you that you need to be like multiple kinds of people, and it shows that you can't be everything for your kids. You can try, but you need help, especially as a dad. You need other dads and people close to you to be there for you when you need them. And I think Danny, he just really showed like, I have 4 kids. I need help from, my brothers and my brother-in-law and my other brother to come and help me out and to help raise these kids. And I need to lean on them for support so I can work, so I can do my thing. And, he did the emotional stuff. And then Uncle Jesse did all the skills and everything and taught him. And then Uncle Joey was there for fun. Like, it shows all these different elements that you need to be a dad to raise like healthy, productive kids. So I would say those two. Uncle Phil was it. He was just it. Uncle Phil was just there for everything. He was serious. He was funny. He didn't take nothing too serious. He provided. He was there for all the emotional stuff. Like when he was needed, he could adjust to whatever the situation was. He was water all the time.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Great answers. Great answers. Last one. if you could sit and talk with the 18-year-old version of Jay, like you and I are doing right now, and you can give that young man one piece of advice going forward, knowing everything that you know right now, what would you say? What advice would you give to him?
I would tell him just to slow down. Just slow down. It's all going to be all right. Just slow it down. You don't got to be in a rush for anything. It's all going to happen when it's supposed to happen. Everything comes in God's time. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. God's never late and he's never in a hurry. He has a big, great, gigantic picture for you of your life. This is what I teach my kids in Awana. Every single week I reiterate this message. It's the same message I give to him. You know, he's already painted this big, huge picture, the most intricate, fine details of our life. And he's not in a hurry to come and bless you, but he's also never late with his blessings either. They come in exactly the timing they're supposed to come and happen. And that's what matters the most. So just remembering that as well is just so crazy important to make sure that happens. So
yes, sir. That's good stuff there, man. Well, yeah, man. I think that's good, man. That's some good stuff there. Man, I gotta make sure your soliloquy goes on a reel. I'm gonna make sure of that, man, because that was some good stuff, and you spit some good game there. Man, the fact that you making some time out for me, cutting some time out with the fam, and come and chill with me for the good hour. I think we were on for a cool hour.
Always got time for you, my man. Always got time for my people. For those that I know would make time for me, whenever needed, as needed. So it ain't no thing. So
Definitely, man. Well, before we get out of here, man, tell the people where they can find your podcast stuff.
So you can find both my podcasts anywhere you get your podcasts. Just type in Young Dad Podcast. It'll come up. The logo right now, at the time of this recording, the logo is a yin and yang symbol. By the time I drop my first episode in the new year, we will have a new logo. Been doing kind of some logo mania over on my Instagram, a whole logo bracket currently. So that's been a ton of fun. So the logo mania, the logo will be updated. But outside of that, you can find Young Dad Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, just simply by typing Young Dad Pod or Young Dad Podcast. YouTube as well, Young Dad Podcast. You can find my other podcast, called Ballboy Talk, the Unhinged Sports Podcast, because I just say whatever I want to say over there. And it's just my sports outlet to work my sports mind, to keep myself sharp. You can find all that over, just type in Ballboy Talk. It's a blue and teal logo. That one's super fun. You can find that one on YouTube. Just type in Ballboy Talk. Trying to think of what else. You can find everything, both these shows and everything I write or put out over on my website, ballboyblog.com. That one's probably never going to change. But Ballboy Blog has everything, both YouTubes, all the posts, everything I write, everything I've written, everything's all encompassed over there on the website. So
That's cool, man. I'm gonna definitely
yeah. And you can find my book I wrote earlier this year. I always forget to plug that. You can find my book, A Baseball Game with Dad, on Amazon. $10. Super fun, super colorful, super diverse. You can find that on Amazon. It'll make a great gift for the New Year's, for your little readers, for your dad that loves baseball, with baseball season coming on the horizon. So it's just a great book that I'm really hoping to have endorsed by minor league baseball and the MLB. So
sheesh, man, you gotta go and get that. Seriously. Yeah, you gotta make that happen, bro. Okay, fine. Super fire. Yeah, man. You gotta get that. You gotta make that happen, bro. We're gonna speak that and say that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to. It's going to be at a stadium near you this summer.
Yes, sir. Let's go, man. Yeah,
So,
sir. I love it, man. Well, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I go as soon as we get off, man, and make sure I subscribe. I don't think I've subscribed to the sports channel yet, man. I'll go and subscribe to that. Go take a listen, and man, we gotta definitely chop it up one day on that sports stuff.
heck yeah. I've been talking over there, been talking all the things, some prospect preview, looking at this upcoming draft class. I have a couple guys who I'm real high on. I love me some Alexander Sarr. That Alex Sarr, that dude, he's gonna be real good, real good. Um, there's Ron Holland. I like Ron Holland. I like me some Isaiah Collier. Um, some guys coming in next year. The rookies right now, of course, we got some great rookies right now. Some Chet, some Wemby, Jaquez Jr. And then, shout out to your Timberwolves, man. Shout out to your T-Wolves. They're
Yeah,
balling. They are balling. I'm a Timberwolves and Hornets fan this year.
yeah.
I don't know why. I just love watching the Hornets. Like, yes, they're 7-20. Melo's been hurt for the last few weeks, but that Hornets team could be really, really good. They just gotta be healthy and
We gotta keep building.
Yeah, they have the pieces. They have all the pieces. Melo, Miller, Hayward, Rozier, Bridges. They're bigs. They got pieces for days. They just need to figure it out, get it together. And one team we're not going to talk about more than we have to is, of course, the Pistons, because 26 in a row. Let's just say that.
That's crazy, man.
I know. They're so bad. And Monty Williams is their coach, but oh, man. So this week I'm going to be talking about the Pistons a little bit. It's one of my mailbag questions over there, actually. I broke down their team a few weeks ago on a recent episode, and they're just bad.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, they're just bad.
Crazy, man. But yeah, man. So, yeah, we'll end it there, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate you for coming on, blessing the podcast with your presence and being the newest member of the Dad Can We Talk community, man.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited. No, man, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I was looking back and I'm like, when did we do ours? And it was back in May.
Yeah, that's wild.
I was like, this doesn't even feel like that long ago.
Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
And so I'm just thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate what you're doing. I love your podcast, just how it gives a platform for fathers who aren't mainstream media kind of fathers to have a platform to share their stories. You're keeping it local, grassroots, and everything. I just really appreciate everything you're doing. Your show is actually one of the few shows I actually listen to. Out of all the people I've had on, I've had too many guests to listen to all their shows, but
yeah,
yours is one that I keep up on exclusively. So just huge compliments and praise to you, man. Just keep after it. Keep fighting, keep getting after it, because you got good stuff, man. Men Can We Talk is really good too. I've listened to a couple. Not nearly enough of them, but I love how those are just local, like coaches and staffs and just local people. Probably just think they could never be on a podcast or never talk kind of thing. Would never get their recognition or anything, or get to spread their message about their coaching or anything that they do. So.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. But yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you for being one of the loyal listeners, man. I always say I don't know who my I think I had for my wrap up for the year was like 7 listeners. That was like top. That Can We Talk was their top, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but whoever you are,
yeah,
I appreciate
I think I posted mine. Like, I don't even remember. Man, it feels like so long ago since I looked at my rap. That was just the beginning of the month. I post too damn much. 285 top fans. I'm like, it's not right. Like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. My downloads and my weekly views do not support that. But hey, I'll take
They
it.
need to fix it, man. They need to fix it.
I'm hoping for a big year this year in 2024. So we already have all of January's episodes, calendars locked and loaded for like 5 or 6 more. So I'm really excited. A bunch of new people that just stumble upon my page and follow me, and I'm like, this might be a connection here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or I'll hear someone else on someone else's podcast, and I'm like, or I'll see them post, and I'm like, this dude looks interesting. Let me go try to weasel my way in here too. So.
Yes, sir, man. That is the life of the podcaster.
True.
The small, the little guys in the podcast game, like
the little
us,
guys,
man.
right?
You know, we gotta go.
We gotta own this sphere by the end of 2024, man. We're gonna own this sphere. I'll be number 1. You can be number 2. I'll allow it.
Let's get it, man.
Let's do it, man. Let's make it so they have to give us studios to go and record in and make us quit our job. So,
man, seriously, man, that's what we pushing for in 24.
Right, I'm pushing to be a stay-at-home dad in 24 and just podcast all day, every day.
Yeah, let's get it. That's what we need life to look like in 24. So for all the listeners out there, y'all please help support the goal. We're trying to be stay-at-home dad podcasters. Y'all support your boys, man. Dadcasters. Come on, man. Yeah, y'all gotta help us push the mission forward. You know, all it takes is a subscribe, a like, a follow, a listen, you know, or just share it with someone. You never know who it could bless. You just never know. So y'all go and find my man at Young Dad Podcast, wherever you find the podcast, and follow Dad Can We Talk. It's that easy, man. We trying to hit 1 and 2. Easy.
That's easy. And we can do it.
Easy, man. You know, and listen, he West Coast, I'm on the East Coast.
We can share. We can split the country half and half.
Seriously, man. Let's do this, man. So if y'all out there listening to this, the easiest way to do it is to just go and do it. Just go find Dad Can We Talk and Young Dad Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and boom, pass it on to the next person, man. So, hey, Jay, man, it was definitely good talking with you, bro. And man, keep on loving on the babies. Congratulations on the marriage. No, thanks, man, sir. I'm here. You get any questions? I'm here, man. You know, I know. I'm here, and I'm in your corner, bro.
I appreciate you, man. And so, likewise to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So that's a wrap for Dad Can We Talk episode 119. Woo, y'all, I'm so bad with remembering these episodes, but that's how we gonna end this episode 119 like that. And we out of here.